guys, welcome to JSDoc crash course. So what is JSDoc? JSDoc is an API documentation generator for JavaScript. Basically, it allows us to document whatever code that we write, and it also works with different JavaScript frameworks such as React, Vue, or even Angular. And we'll be looking into different topics such as different type like string, number, array, object, and we will also learn the class, module, template, tutorials, and README file as well. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so first of all, you will need to install node.js by pressing on this button to download the file, and also with the Visual Studio Code by pressing on this button right here. So once you have this download and install, next this is the home page of the JSDoc. So from here you can see there's a list of the documentation with the example, also the tags, and down here we can see that we have the inline tag as well. So first of all, now I want to show you is to basically come to the Visual Studio Code. I have already created a new folder called JSDoc crash course right here. So inside this empty folder, you will need to click on this terminal, click on the new terminal. So what are we going to do here? Basically, we want to try to install. So npm init, we just want to have the JSON file to be created. So here it asks for the package name. Just press enter a few times with the entry point index.js. Okay, so it asks, this is okay, yes. So now we have the package.json file created with the script here as well. We will need to change, but for now let's just go to the website. So here you can see that right here, this is the JSDoc with the npm that we will need to install, and you can also see that it is the documentations generator for JavaScript. Okay, so now before installing, quickly look into this. You can see that it is quite popular with about 500,000 download weekly, and there are more right here with the templates, tool, and stuff. Okay, so now I want to install this locally and save it as the dev dependency. Okay, so this command, just copy that. Now let's just go back here. I will just need to paste it right here, then try to press the enter key to install this library. Okay, alright, so here it has been installed. You can also see it here as well. And what I want to do next is to try to create a new file. So I'll call this file as jsdoc.json because this is the config file, right? So I'll show you what to put inside this. So now I want to do next is to quickly go back here. I'll change this. So I'll change this to JSDoc, and the command that I'll use the JSDoc. So here .c referring to the config file, and it will be the jsdoc.json, which is referring to the file right here. So just quickly save this one here, and I'll just need to go back to the website. So here, look, I'm looking for the configuring the JSDoc with the configuration file. So it is optional anyway. If you don't include this, it still works fine. But if we have this included, it means that we can just do more customs file, right? So we can have like say the templates or maybe tutorials, or it can be some other tag right here. Okay, so I'm looking for the default one. Then we can try to quickly grab that. Let me search for the default. Okay, so it should be right here. Let me just copy everything from here, right? And then come back here. inside the JSDoc.json, just paste everything, and I'll need to make some changes. So right here, the plugins markdown, and for this I don't need that. So source, we have the include pattern and exclude pattern. So for the include one, I'll just need to include all of the JS file, right? So it would look like that. And the exclude patterns, I just want to exclude the node module folder. So node modules, here you can see that we want to exclude this. And the doc, so the file, the folder that contain the name of docs, we want to exclude this as well. And the source type, actually we don't need this. So we have tag, I just want to get rid of this as well. The templates, by default, you can see that it is off, so we want to have this turned to true. Okay, so this is basically like a link, the font link. We will get into that in a minute. And down here we want to also get into the ops. So let's just search for that real quick. So right here, these are the options. For now, let's just try to copy everything. You might not be understanding what I'm doing right now, right? But of course, I'll try to explain you once we get into the course in detail. So here we have the ops. Actually, this is not needed. Let me just, okay, so we have the templates, we have the encoding, probably this is not required, the destination, yes, recurse, yep, and the tutorial, this is also required. So for the template right now, this is referring to the template slash default, meaning that we will need to create like a separate folder, right? A separate directory, and we don't need that. So I'll just need to have the separate folder, but not into the other one. And the destination here, I want to have the JSDoc, okay? And the recurse here is true, meaning that we want to have some of the folders. And right here we can have, like, say the tutorial will be .to tutorials, like that. So we have all this at the moment. Let's just quickly save that, and it looks good. Okay, so now what I want to do next is to run this JSON file using this command. So it will be npm run JSDoc, which is referring to this command here, and then it will try to run this JSON file. Okay, so now let me try to press enter. Okay, so here you can see that we get this error message saying that there's no input file to process. Okay, so here come back to the JSDoc.json, and under the source we have to add another one, which is the include. Okay, so right here we want to have the SRC, will stand for or referring to the source folder. So here we have to create a new folder called SRC, and inside the folder we will need to create a new file called index.js. And here you can see that we didn't really specify / index like that, right? Because it will automatically detect the file name called index.js. Okay, so once we have this defined inside this JSDoc.json, now let's try to run the command again. So npm run JSDoc. And right here you can see that we have another error message. I think you probably know what's going on now, because right here you can see that in the template here we have this / template, right? And the destination we also have this tutorial, we have this, but the thing is that it haven't exist, or it doesn't exist right here. So that means that for now I want to get rid of this, but we will get into all of this, right? We have to get into the template, the tutorial, the readme as well. So for now we just need to go step by step and just get rid of the two, and then try to run this command again. Okay, so this time you can see that we have this folder created. We have the fonts folder, we have the script folders with the style here as well, and the index.html. So to be able to run the code here, we will need to have this plugin installed. It's called Live Server. So you can just come here and search for Live Server. So then you need to click on here, and then you will need to install it. Okay, so once you have that installed, now let's just come back here and we try to run this in the browser, which is the index.html. We just need to right click and open with the live server. Okay. Alright, so here you can see that we have this installed. So this is what the home page look like. We have the home, the documentation generated by the JSDocs, and this is the time and the home right here. Okay, so now I want to go back to the code and try to show you inside the index.js. I can just close this for now. Okay, so here inside the index.js, what I want to quickly show you is just say pet name. I just want to assign a value to it. So here inside the pet name, I just want to call this, just say like Ruby. Okay, and next thing, we come to the use of the JSDocs. So here, what you have to do, you just need to press on the / symbol like this, right? And then 2 asterisk. Okay, and this is what you can see. Then press enter, then the format would look like this. I normally just press it 2 times because up here we can just provide the command, and down here we can just specify the type. Okay, so this will be the type of the string. So up here it will be pet name. Okay, and then let's just quickly save that and try to run the command again. Okay, here, so here you can see that it is up and running. Now let me try to go back to the website to show you what it's here. Okay, so here we can see that we have the global and the pet name, which is right here. So I can just click on this real quick. So once I click on this, you can see that it is the constant variable with the pet name and the type, which is string. And the this is the description, right? The pet name and the type is string. And I can also click on the line here. It just indicates that it is in the line number 5, which is the inside the index.js. Okay, so it is quite useful. We can see a little bit now. Okay, so now we have the string defined. What if say if I define up here the string, but I assign, let's say, like value like this, right? But the thing is that what if I want to see like error on the fly without having to run the command? I can actually do that. I just need to import the command here. So it will be / add ts check, like so. Okay, so just by adding this command right here, then you will be able to see that when I hover on it, it say that the type number is not assignable to type string. So it is similar to TypeScript without having to run, and we can just see the result right on the fly. So when I try to change this back to say like Ruby, then here you can see we don't have the error message anymore. Okay, so this is one example of using, like, say, the type string. What about the other type? Let me just say this time it will be like const, and just to show you, we'll use the number, and up here again with the / 2 asterisk, press enter 2 times, and then I can just say like type will be the type of number. Up here I can just say the comment number for now, and I can just try to run the command again. Okay, so now let's just take a look, and here we can see we have the number type, which is the number here, type number, and the line, and this is the command. Okay, so also if you notice, we can also see that the index.html file, it will automatically generate it based on what we define here, and when we try to run it. Okay. Alright, so next I want to show you is the array type. Right here for the number, so if you change it to like say boolean, you can also get an error message, right? Okay, so now let's just get into the boolean, the array. So I just define this as say like const my array equal to any number, like say 1, 2, 3, including the decimal point as well, and here I just say like hi, and next one will be just say like true. So right here in my array we have 3 different types, which is the number, string, and boolean. Okay, so up here I want to let's just say type. This will be the array type. Okay, and I can just try to comment this, just say like my array, and now it's look fine, right? But what if I want to also have the allow the number type but not the string or the boolean? Then how would I do it? Well, you can just use the number like so. Okay, then you can see that we have an error message saying that the string is not assignable to the type number. Okay, and also the same for the boolean here as well. So this is quite useful when we try to use this, right? And now we have also looked into the array. Let me just comment this one out in case you guys want to come and have a look again. Try to copy this and just get it all the other type. So just keep it like that. Also, if you put it like this, right, we will also encounter another issue as well. So what I mean by that, let me just quickly run this command again, and then try to go and see if we actually have the array type printed on the doc here. So here you guys can see we don't see anything, right? So that's something that you need to keep in mind as well. So we will need to move this down here like that, because these two have to stick together. Okay, so now let me try and run this, and okay, so up and running. Come back here, refresh the page, and now we can see that we have the array type, which is accepting only the number. Okay, so now let's just come back here. Next one I want to show you is the object type. Okay, so for the object type, I'll just say pet. Okay, so here within the pet, I want to define the ID, name. Let's just give this name as Coco. If you've been watching my crash courses, you will see that I try to use the same one, which is the pet, just for the example, right? So here we have the age, which is 2, and yep, just these 3 for now. And here we can just use the same one. I'll just say this time pet object. Down here I can just specify the type. So here we have ID, which accepting the number type. For name we accept string, and age, say we also accept the number type. Okay, so it would look like that. Let me just save it and try to run this to quickly show you. Okay, so here it tried to run the file, And now we have the path object. So here you can see the type is object, and this is the line in line number 26. Okay, so what if say I try to assign the age to maybe like string? We can see that we have an error. It's not assignable to string. But what if I want to accept both types, right? How do I do it? Well, here in the age, you can just use the symbol and just try to add another one, which is string. Now it accepting either number type or the string type. Okay, it would look like that, and it will be the same for the gender as well. If you want to have say something like gender down here, which is say like male, then you can also add another one here. So for also for this example here, you can see that up here we only define like 3 types, right? Three like the parameter or the property. Then if I want to add another one here, you can also see that there's an error saying that the gender doesn't exist in the type that we define up here. Okay, so that's something very useful when we can try to implement this. Okay, so now let me just save that. We also look into the object type now. So what about next one? Next one I want to show you is the template. So here let me just try to come here to the node modules and now try to look for the JSDoc, right? So JSDoc is up here, and what I want to do is to basically copy the template. Okay, so if say you want to modify like the code, like say the template, then you generally it is not recommended to come here inside the module and then try to change the code inside here, right? So what you can do, you can just come here inside the template, the default folder right here, just copy everything, and then let me just quickly close this, and here in the root directory let's just try to paste everything here. Okay, so now we have copied the code and paste it here. Here we have the template, the static and everything. So I want to rename this to say like template. Okay, so we can see that it is not permitted. So how are we going to do that? Well, you can just try to close this VS Code and then change the name inside the folder. Let me just quickly do that. Okay, so here I have already changed the folder name. I just close the Visual Studio Code and then come to the folder here and try to right click and change it manually. Okay, so that already changed, and you can also see the effects here as well. So this is the template. So in the folder here, say if you want to change something, then probably just this one here, the publish, and see if there's something that you want to customize or change, then you can also do it here. But for the tutorial, I would then try to focus inside this template, right? Just want to quickly show you how you can do that. Try to copy everything from the node modules folder, then try to paste it inside this here. Okay, so now we also done that. So what about the next one here? Next one I want to show you is the function. Okay, so with function, this is what you can do. Let me try to create a function called calculate path age. Okay, so here it takes 2 parameters. Let's just say the first one is current and the other one is year of birth. And inside here I want to return the right here it would be the current year of birth. Okay, so very simple function. And next I want to console log this. So in here I want to call the function which is the calculate path age, and the year which is this year 2021, and the year of birth of the pet birth, right? So I would say like 2019. Okay, so what this does, it will try to get the number here, and then we get the pad age, right? Okay, so now let me just save that, and down here, to be able to see this command or the console log, I'll just need to run the node and going to the source folder. It will be the source index like that. Okay, so you can also get it out of this, just run this command, then it would also work fine, but let me just stick to this one here just to avoid any confusion. Okay, so now let's try to run this right here, and here you guys can see the console log. What it does, it will try to calculate this pad age for me, so I can see the result here is 2. Okay, so how would I define the JSDoc up here? Okay, so to do that, similar thing, we can also see that once I press enter, this will be automatically generated. I don't even need to type this, because it takes the value the parameter here and add up here. So I just need to specify the type, which is number, and the same for the year of birth, it will be the number type. And the return here, what does it return? Well, it returns the type of string, right? Here you can see that it is just a string. Okay, so now we have that defined, and next up here I can also say something like calculate pad age, and the command here I can just say like the current year, also with the year of the pad birth, and the return, this will return the actual pad age. Okay, so now let's just save that and try to run the npm run JSDoc. Okay, so run that. It will try to generate a document for us. And now let me try to come to the page here. Let's just go to the home. And okay, so the reason is that because I have closed the Visual Studio Code a moment ago, right? Because of changing the folder name. So now we might need to open this with the live server again. Okay, so here we can now see that the calculate pad age is also displayed here. And now let's just take a quick look. You can see that this is the method with the returning the string type, and this is the description with the parameter, which consists of 2, the current with the type of number, and the description here is the current, and the description here, year of the pad birth, and the source, which is line, and this is the return type age and also type string here. Now let me just quickly click on the line number 38, and here it will just directly point us to this right here, right? So which is quite useful. Next one I want to show you is the custom type. Here we look at the pad object, which is the existing object, right? So now I want to define the custom one. Okay, so to define the custom one up here, I want to say something like, probably, let me just separate this for now. So this is not related to the JSDoc at all. I just want to separate this, easier for you to see. We have the, say, like doc. We have ID, say 1, name, let's just say bean, age, say number 2. Okay, so up here I want to try to specify the custom type, which is called doc. Okay, so now we have the type definition, which is the object type, and I want to call this object, or the custom object, called as doc. And down here I can just say the property will be the number,
which is the ID. And let me just try to copy this. So we have 3. Next one is the name, which is string. We have the other one here, age, which is the number type. Okay, should be fine for now. Or if we want to accept both, I already show you, which is just putting this as a string. Okay, and then yep. So next one down here, I want to say like the type, which is the referring to the dog, which is here. Okay, so now this is becoming the dog type. How do I know that? Now let's just try to quickly run it. And before running, I just want to show you what if I try to add another one right here, right? Whether it is still working or not. Say if this dog is actually a male, then I can just say like true, something like that. But the thing is that we get an error message because it doesn't exist in the type dog, which is I already showed you earlier as well. Here, let me just try to run this again. Okay, so now let's just take a look at the website, and here we can see that we have the dog, which is here. And now let's just here you can see that the type is actually the dog. It's not object at all, right? So it is the type of type dog. And we can also see the line number right here as well. And this is the, let me just click here. Okay, so here you can see that we have the type definition, which is the dog. The type is type object. And inside that we have the property, which consists all of this. Okay, so you can see that it is quite, again, very easier for the developers to say if you or we work with multiple developers, then if we have this documented, it might be easier for them as well. Okay, so we have that look into. So I want to actually add another one, which is the right here. I just want to have the boolean, and right here I can just say we need to also say Ismail, like that, right? What if I want to make it optional? Okay, so it's not actually necessary at all. I can either provide the value whether it's true or false, or I don't want to provide it at all. So I can also do that. You have to just add this bracket here. Okay, and then let's just save it. What if I want to comment this one or get rid of it? Okay, then it still works fine. All right, so the gender here is optional. All right, and let me just put it back here. Comment this one out just to show you that it is an optional one. Okay, so that's another one which we already looked into, which is the custom object type, which is called dog type here, with all of the property that's specified here. Okay, so that is the other one. Okay, so next one, it will be the class. Okay, so we can just use the keyword class. I call this class as owner, referring to the owner of the pet. And here we can just specify the constructor, which here it take the owner detail. So inside the constructor, we can just say this dot name equal to owner detail dot name, and next will be the this dot age owner detail dot age. Okay, and now we have this define, and I want to here at the type, so up here I want to say like the command, right? So the class to create a new pet owner, which is saying something like that. And above the constructor, I can just say here it's already created for me, and I just want to say pet owner detail and the type, which is type object. Okay, and how about the constructor here? Well, I can just say like the right here, the property. So this will be the string and the name, and I provide the command, just say the pet owner name. Okay, so this is actually not required, get rid of this, and this will be the same for this one here. This is the property, which is number, the age, right? Number, and the here it will be the age. Just provide the command pet owner age. Okay, so now we have that, and let's just define what are we going to do with this class. Well, it will I want to print out the owner detail, so create this function here, and it will just show the console log. This will be the owner name is right here, referring to the name. Okay, and her age. So just imagine that the pet owner is a she, a female. Then here I just say that, and the this dot age, right? Okay, so now we have that, and up here on top of the function, I can just say like property. This is the function type. Okay, function. This is the print owner. What this does? Well, it just print out owner detail or information, and well, this will returns the type, which is the void. And the reason is that because we don't use any keyword return here. Okay, so we have the class defined. Okay, class owner with the function here, and the property, which is the name. I also contain the age. Okay, so now let me just try to create, say like owner 1. This will be equal to new, and now it's the class name, right? The owner name. Here we can just try to define or add the value. Say the name of the owner of the pet is called Kelly, and the age is say like 18. Okay, so would look like that. And once we have this defined, I want to console log this. So we'll just say owner1 dot print the owner. Okay, so which is the function we define here. So what it's going to print, where I say the owner name is Kali and her age is 18. Okay, so this is the expected result. And up here, I want to also, probably not now, let's just try to run it first, and then I can just show you the others one. So now let's just run node. Okay, so here it is. Here we can see the result, right? The node source, which is running here. I think for now, let me try to actually cut this and paste it up here. This is actually, comment this one for now, and try to run that again. And here it is, guys. We can also see the result here, which is the owner name's name, and then her age is here. The reason we see that undefined, because we use the console log right here, right? So this is actually not required. This would work just fine. And then it will just print out the result to the user. Okay. So okay, next thing I want to show you is to basically link to the owner. Okay, so first let me try to run this, try to generate the JSDoc. So it will be this command. Let's just run that. Okay, so here we can see the class basically try to create another one. Now let's just take a look here. Refreshing, and here you guys can see under the classes section we have the owner. So when I click on here, we can see that it is the owner detail and the description, the constructor as well, which is the pet owner detail, which here the parameter is owner detail. The member, we have the age, the name, and the method. It just print out the owner that return as the void type. And here you guys can see, yep, that's the class. What about the next things that I want to show you, which is here. Say if I want to link this to the owner class, because what we see right here, it is actually related to this class called owner, right? Here you can see we are using or linking to the class owner here. So I can just say like C, and I put like a link just to link it to the owner like that. So now let me just save it, and down here try to run that again. Okay, it's running. Okay, so here this is the owner one. Let me click on that, and here you can see that we have this one here. It's say link to owner class. So if we want to actually understand like what this actually means, then we can just put a link here to get into the detail of it. And here we can, the user can just click on this owner, right, and then see the detail of this class. Okay, so yep, that's quite useful, as you can see. Alright, so now let's just look at the module. So we how do we define the module? Well, let me just quickly try to create a new file called petcounter.js. So basically, what is module? Well, module is in the common JS, right? We normally just try to when we try to define or try to call the whatever that we define inside the module, we will just use like the keyword require, but in the ES we just use like the keyword import, right? So now I want to define the module inside this JS file, then we will import it into this index.js. Okay, so here I will just try to create a simple module. I'll just call this one as the module, and the name I'll call this as pet counter, like that, and the description, which is pet counter module, yep, like that for now. And here I can just try to define the param. We'll just do the number. So what I'm going to do in the pet counter, well, I want to calculate the pet total, right? So I can just say here count pet total. So this is the first one. Next I want to copy this. I'll just say second, get rid of all of this, and then it will try to return with the number. Okay, so here I want to export car total, which is the name of this module. Take two parameter, first and second, and here first plus second. So we'll just do the calculation by adding these two values together. Let's just add the comment here as well. So the first one here referring to the number of existing pets that's in the store, and the second one is basically the new pets that will be added to the store. Okay, so yep, that look like that. And you can actually try to define more down here, but for this tutorial I just want to create this simple one. So now let's just come back here to the index.js, and now you can just come here under the TS check. You can just try to import the called total that we have already defined there, and here this will be the required, and just get into the file which is the pet counter. So we have that defined right here. Now let's just scroll down to the bottom of this file, then we try to call that. So to call it we can just say console log and call total, which is a right now the existing pet in the store we have like say 19, and then we want to add a new pets 5. So this will do the calculation for us. And to see this, well, I will first need to save it and try to run the node. And here you guys can see we have the total number show, which is 24. Okay, so that means that this module is actually working. Now I want to try to run this to see it on the website as well. So what it's gonna show us now, let's just see. It's trying to create the module, right? Okay, so here it is. You guys can see we have the module pet counter.html and the pet counter here as well. So now let's just come here, and now let me refresh this, and here you can see we have the module which is pet counter, we have class and global here. So let me just click on the pet counter. We can see that this is the description with the methods, which is returning the type number. We have first, second, which is description display here as well, and the type returning the number. Okay, so when I click on the line 12 here, it will also try to show me where the code is inside this pet counter.js. All right, so yep, we also look into the module. Okay, so now look at the tutorial. So I want to come here. Okay, so inside the option here, I want to say like template. So here the template, because we have already created this folder, but we haven't specified anything yet. So here we can just say like dot template. Okay, so next one here is the tutorial, right? So tutorial, and here I'll just say dot tutorial like that. And once we have this, just save it, and then I want to create another folder called tutorials like that, and inside this folder I'll just say tutorial.html. So I'll just need to create the HTML boilerplate. So just the exclamation mark and press tab. So in the body here I can just try to create like the random text, right? So it will be Lawrence, and specify the number of the words that to be generated. I just say like 30. Press on the tab key. So this will create 30 words for me. Okay, so it's just save that. We have the tutorial.html, right? Okay, so now I think we can try to run this for now. npm run JSDoc. Okay, so a new file is created. It's called tutorial.html. Now let's just take a look at the website, see if there's a new change. Now let's just try to go to the home page. Okay, so here we can see that you can see we have the tutorials and the tutorial down here, which we created using the HTML tag, right? So here it is. We have the tutorial and the random text here as well. Okay, so now we have this. What about if I want to use another one, which is the markdown that we have already defined it but haven't used it yet. So here, this is the markdown. Okay, so just to create another file under the tutorial again. So this will be the, say like pad counter.md. So this is the markdown file, and I want to create like a tutorial for this file, right? For this module. So now from here I can just say like this pad counter module is used for calculating the total pads in the store. Okay, just like that. And I can actually try to copy some random text from here. So say like down here, right? Okay, now let's just save it and try to run this. Okay, so here it's create another one, which is the pad counter, but instead of the HTML here, we use the markdown. Okay, so now let's just come here and let me try to refresh this. And here you can see that we have the pad counter, and this is the text saying this pad counter module is for something, and the tutorial here. Okay, what about next one? Well, I want to say, what about if I want to try changing the name here, because it just getting this name from the file name, right? So this is the default name, which is pad counter. I want to change that. Then I'll need to create a new file. This one will be the tutorial.json. Inside the JSON file, I want to define tutorial, which is the title. Say this is the main tutorial. Next will be pad counter. Title will be the tutorial. Okay, so I just want to rename that. Now let's just run that again. Okay, so here take a look. We have the name updated. Okay, so here the tutorial, we have the pad counter tutorial and the main tutorial here. Okay, so this is how we try to rename the existing name inside the tutorial. So last thing which I want to show you, now let's just come back here. When I click on the home, you can see that we have the blank page here. So I want to display something on this page. So how do I do that? Well, let's just come back here, and I want to go to the index.js, which is this file, and underneath here I can just say something like file index.js is the home page for this application. Okay, it can be, we can just say like this is the root file or something else. Then yep, you can do that. And under here we have the author. Let's just put my name, or you can also put like a link as well. Okay, So here we can just add the a tag. So it will be like say only tag, and we need the href. This will be https my website name honlytech.com, like that, and save it. Let's try to run that again. So the message you can see here, it is actually fine. Now let me just try to show you the result. Okay, so here in the home.html, right, index.html, we have this C. We can see the text here is the home page for the application. We have the author name and the source also with the C, which is this is the external website where we can just put. So now when I click on here, you can see that it linked to my website. So you can also come to the website and try to see some other video, like all of the crash courses and other tutorials as well. Okay, so now let's just come back here. We have that. What if I want to also use like the readme file on this page as well? So how do I do that? Well, you can just come to the root directory and try to create a new file. So I'll just call this as readme.md. okay, so here when I'm here, I can just say anything, maybe just say like this example text came from readme.md. okay, so we have that. And do I need to do anything else? Well, yes. Come to this JSDoc.json, and now we will need to define the readme, which is referring to the file here is the readme. Don't forget to put a comma here as well. Okay, so now let's try to run this. Oh, we encounter another issue. Well, here you can see most of the file it is ended in JS file, right? But for the readme.md, we need to also specify the file extension as well. So now let's try to run this final time. Okay, so it is up and running. Let's just take a look here. Let's just click on here to get the here you guys can see we have the text saying this example text came from readme.md. You can of course just put more text, just try to explain what this does and everything. And yep guys, that pretty much it for this crash course. I just want to quickly recap again from the start to finish what we have already learned. Well, we learned the global, right? We have the type, I'll say like the number, we have type like string, we have the pad. The pad here, it is basically this is the object type. And we also look into the array, also the doc here, this is the custom object type called doc. And we also look into the function here called the calculate pad age, and the owner one, which is basically we try to use this or call it coming from the class. This is the class. We also look into the modules, and finally this is the tutorial, which we can try to also specify here either with the HTML text or HTML with the p tag, and also with the markdown file, right? And last one, which is referring to the index, which is the home page here. I can just specify name or try to link it to the external URL, and this is also coming from the readme.md here. So yep, that's all for this crash course, just to implement it into your project. And this is again not only for the node.js, it can be implemented in say like different frameworks. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to also like this video for more, and subscribe to this channel as well if you think that this is useful for you guys, and comment to let me know if any suggestion for the next video. And until then, see you guys in the next video.